is somebody who has been here a couple of times. We are very happy to have him back and tell more stories. I remember when he used to come here and tell stories. They were pretty, excuse me, pretty damn good. So he is here tonight. Welcome him, Mr. Rich McClellan.
Kind of interesting. This isn't what I guess football's the topic, sort of. I was 14 years old. I was slightly crouched at the scrimmage line. My face felt ice cold. My ears were stinging. My pants were grass stained, and my knees wet and freezing from falling in the mud all afternoon. I was having a great time. It was Sunday afternoon in January and a perfect day for a game of neighborhood football. Oh, I'm sorry, forgive me. Across from me was Irving Faust. We stared at each other waiting for the play to start. I heard the quarterback yell "Hype," and before I could move, I felt a sharp pain in my crotch. For no apparent reason except for his own amusement, Irving had kicked me. I completely doubled over and then got up and tried to run after him unsuccessfully, since I was still doubled over in pain. As a result, the game broke up. Everyone went their separate ways. In my room that night, I decided that I was going to get revenge for the transgression to my boys. Usually, I would not retaliate when something like that happened, and was pretty much known as a kid that could be bullied, which was going to fit perfectly in my plan. The next morning, I walked to the bus stop and took some ribbing, and Irving laughed and told me it was nothing personal. That is what he thinks, I said to myself. I was watching for the bus to come. Most of the kids lined up and the bus came over a small hill, maybe 1/10 of a mile away. I was looking for when the bus was visible a brief second before it came over the hill. As soon as I saw the top of the bus, I sprang into action. I grabbed Irving, threw him on the ground, and threw some wildly and mostly ineffective punches that did little to harm him physically. When I saw the bus pulling up to the stop, quickly grabbing my books and running through the crowd, and boarded the bus before anyone knew it had arrived. Irving was furious that I got the better of him and ran into the bus screaming how he was going to kick my ass. The bus driver refused to let him on the bus, adding insult to injury. I avoided him for a few days to avoid retaliation. Except for occasionally reliving the thrill of getting back at someone for once, I completely forgot about it. I was at a cake party 4 or 5 years later. Irving was there and quite drunk. He approached me and tried to call me out to fight him because he was still angry how I got over him. I managed to avoid getting him into a fight and left the party. It was not until a few more years later that I thought about how my reputation of always gotten picked on had made the humiliation and the resentment so bad that he held on to it for all those years, and how the pain of my sore boys only lasted a couple hours. Revenge is best served cold, mostly because it stays warm for so much longer.